Let's start with the prayers. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We are seeing the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, titled Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. This is the last chapter of the 701 verses of the Bhagavad Gita. This chapter consists of 78 verses, and we have finished 54 verses so far. The last few verses which we did, from 46 to 49, was about Karma Yoga. The crux of this chapter is the three gunas and the 13 factors which we have analyzed with reference to the three gunas. So after finishing that, now Bhagavan is trying to conclude the chapter again by giving us the essence of Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So what we are seeing now from 46 to 49 was the Karma Yoga. And then he said that you have to evolve from Karma Yoga and reach the supreme state of Brahman. It is a state of knowledge, of Jnana. From 51 to 53, he taught us how to reach this Atma in us and have a direct experience of that Atma. Aparoksha Anubhuti. It is possible with a pure intellect in meditation. So that was in 51 to 53. Then he started from 52 onwards. 52, 53, 54 was on Upasana Yoga. The summary of chapter 6 was discussed in 3 verses. And what did he say? He said you meditate with dispassion in verse number 52. In verse number 53, he said you drop your ego, drop your powers, drop your desires, anger, the notion of mind, and then meditate. These are the obstacles to meditation. This was discussed in verse number 53. In 54, he said, you develop devotion to me, the Lord. Come and merge with me. See, these are all the steps by which Bhagavad Gita tells us how to realize our own higher nature, which is hidden for us. It is in us. It is me, myself, this Atma, which Lord Krishna is teaching, is my own higher nature. But today I do not know that nature. It is veiled from me, it is covered for me. With this introduction, let us now start the 55th verse, which talks about bhakti. And then from 56 to 62, that is what we will be seeing today, how to attain the final abode. That is what Lord Krishna is going to teach us. The whole life, if you see, it is a life of prarabdha karma. If you want to analyze the external world, we must use the law of karma. If you want to go deep inside yourself, you should use jnana yoga. Whatever we have learned about our higher nature of being Satchit Ananda, of being Purusha principle, of being all the verses which we learned in chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita from 12 to 25, all those verses you should remember. I don't have any death as Atma, all those we should remember. Okay, with that small introduction, let's see what we can see. We can start the session today with the 55th verse, where we left last time. The three states of Samadhi. Bhaktya mamavijanati yavanyashasmi tattvataha tato mam tattvato jnatva Dishate dadanantaram. Here he says, by bhakti you can come to me, know me in essence. You enter into me through bhakti. See, these are all the conditions of the mind. You can enter deep within yourself through jnana yoga. You can enter deep within yourself through bhakti yoga, devotion, through the love of Lord. Each one has a different mindset. You can enter through karma yoga. So it depends on what type of mindset do I have and what is my ultimate goal. If these two are clear, then each one has to follow his own methodology. Some people use yoga method. Some people use meditation, upasana. So each one has to discover, but in general, what is said is the final liberation comes through jnana. Because Atma happens to be the nature of knowledge, which is called as Chit, Chaitanya Swarupa. So if I want to ultimately understand my nature, the goal I will reach is I am the ultimate Purusha in which this entire creation is coming and into which the entire creation resolves. This will be the final knowledge which you will attain coming from any path. You might come from the Upasana road, from Bhakti road, from Karma Yoga road, from Hatha Yoga road. Ultimately, this is where you will land. That is what Lord Krishna is trying to teach us in these verses. From 55 onwards till 62, he is going to discuss what do we achieve. Bhakti is placed on a high pedestal here. Only with bhakti you will realize the Lord. That's what he says here. In the 10th chapter, if you remember, he said, this is a Mahavakya of the Bhagavad Gita. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasya Astitaha Aham Adishya Madhyam Cha Bhutanamanta Evacha. I am the beginning of all the beings. I am the middle of all the beings. I am the end of all beings. What does it mean? Before this body was born, I was with the Lord. While the body is here, I am with the Lord. When the body is gone, I will be with the Lord. That Lord is eternal. It never changes. The body changes, the mind changes, the world changes. The waking state comes, dream state comes, sleep state comes. Today I see this world, it's raining today, it is bright sunshine tomorrow, it's cold, it's hot. All these changes are at the experiential level. But the substratum for all this is the Lord. It's a very important mantra of the whole Gita, the 20th verse of the 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga. Kshetram chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetraknyo jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. This is also a very important verse of the 13th chapter. What does it say? In the entire field of experiences, know me to be the experiencer, Chaitanyam, consciousness principle. Taittiriya Upanishad, Om Brahma Vidapnoti Param Tadyesham Yuktam Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yoveda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. Soshnute Sarvan Kaman Yaha Brahmana Vipaschiteti. In the cave of the intellect is this pure consciousness. Realize this consciousness as your own nature. From this consciousness comes this entire Jagat. This is what Lord Krishna is teaching us here. I am the one consciousness principle in the entire universe. Imbued with this devotion, that you are entering into the Lord with your mind. Come to me, the Lord Krishna says here. A drop of water knows the self to be the one with the ocean. When it comes to know that it is the ocean, the droplet drops its identification as an individual drop and merges with the ocean. The room space realizes that it is the all-pervading space. The space merges with the infinite space. Physically, we cannot see this happen, but we know that this is cognitively possible. The limited existence which we have of about ourselves, the notion that I am limited, this individuality will remain till the prarabdha is over. Ekameva advitiyam brahma aham asmi is the final knowledge. What does this mean? I am the one consciousness which is non-dual. It is my real ultimate nature, which even today I am, but I don't know. It is only an understanding by which I realize my true nature. And I have full faith in the scriptures. You should not have any doubt because that is the pramanam. Bhakti can be discussed at 3 levels. I belong to the Lord. That means ownership less. I don't own anything, everything is Lord. Second type of bhakti is Lord is mine. I have ownership with that Lord. Very close to the Lord. Bhakti, Lord Krishna belongs to me. The third, but these are all attitudinal changes. Yeah, it's all in the mind. Lord is me only. It is oneness which Lord Krishna has taught me in the Bhagavad Gita. I am now fully with the Lord because the ego has dropped. The ego, which was taking itself to be a separate individual, has become feeble. And it has dropped. And what has taken over that is the Lord. What is definition of bhakti? Abiding in the comprehension of the Lord being the self is the ultimate definition of bhakti. That Lord is not outside, but he is the very self of mine. That means if I am looking at my own self, I close my eyes, I look at my own self inside me, I will discover that consciousness principle, the pure Chaitanya. That nature, when I close my eyes and I realize that that is the nature of the Lord. You come to know I am Satyam. That consciousness is the reality, Satyam. There is no time in which it is not there. It is the nature of knowledge. That is why we say Jnanam. What knowledge? Pure knowledge without any objects. Anantam. Anantam means it is not limited by place. It is all pervading and it is not limited by time. That is what we call it as Brahma, Brahman. So abiding in that self is a Jivan Mukta. That means the Jivan part of it, Jivatvam is gone. The ego has been dropped. And then the personality has been dropped. What remains is the pure self. Many a times in the scriptures, they say that this Lord can be realized in Samadhi. And then they talk about 3 types of Samadhi. Sahaja Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Savikalpa Samadhi. What is Sahaja Samadhi? Sahaja Samadhi means you are absorbed in the self and the self is never lost. Person sees the supreme reality all the time. I am the pure self. I am the pure self. Never forgets that he is that consciousness. Nirvikalpa Samadhi means that the person realizes the self during the Samadhi state, which is called as thoughtless state. Sahaja Samadhi means throughout the life he is one with that consciousness. Nirvikalpa means in the state of Samadhi, he just abides in the thoughtless state, and that is called as Nirvikalpa. Vikalpa, Nirvikalpa. Vikalpa means change, thought, changeless, thoughtless state. And what is Savikalpa? Savikalpa means I use the sentence Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that infinite self, which is not affected by time. It is pure. It is ever pure, Shuddham. It is ever free, Muktaha. But I bring in a deliberate thought. And then person dwells on that thought as his own self repeatedly, not once or twice, thousands of times. That is called as Savikalpa. Savikalpa means with a thought, you get slowly absorbed. So these are the 3 states of Samadhi, which is explained in Yoga Shastra. Lord Krishna uses that many a times in the chapter 6. Vedanta uses Yoga Shastra techniques of Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. But the ultimate essence of the Yoga Shastra is different, and of the Vedanta Shastra is different. Very subtle difference towards the end. For Jnani, the mind is dropped, no more the individuality is there. He is able to hold the mind for the next embodiment. That means if another body comes, he can just drop this mind here and then go on to the new one. Mind merges into 5 elements. Brahma Jnanam has fully entered the Brahman, no more differences there. Now this is a Jnani situation. The individuality is held when the mind is taking another body. But a Jnani dissolves his individuality here and now. That is what is called as Jivan Mukti. When the pot is broken in an ocean, the inside water merges with the ocean water. It becomes one with the water. There is no more difference between pot water and ocean water. Till the pot is not broken, we can say there is water in the pot and there is water outside the pot. Similarly, consciousness is there in this body, consciousness is there outside the body. There is only one consciousness in which the whole universe exists. When this body is gone, the consciousness in this body merges with the total consciousness. Where should Arjuna start? If he wants to know this, how can he reach this state of oneness? Sarva karvanyapi sada kurvanno madhyapashrayah mat prasadadavapnoti shashvatam padam avyayam. Doing actions and taking refuge in me. Here what he means is, I do not do the action as the ego I. It is the Lord who is doing through me. I am the instrument for the Lord. With this attitude, I reach the eternal, indestructible state, which is called as Brahman, which is the real nature of the Lord. How to merge with this Lord? Through bhakti. I offer every bit of mine to that Lord, means this entire ego which I have, I try to dilute that ego. Purushassa parapartha bhaktya labhyasvananyaya yasyantasthani bhutani ena sarvamidam tatham. In the 8th chapter, Lord Krishna taught us, again through devotion, you can reach me, the highest, O Partha. So in this chapter, he's summarizing those verses. The 18th chapter is a revision. So this is to show that he has already explained that in the 8th chapter, that through devotion, you can reach me. Bhagavan, you are in and through every pore of me. A jnani will say, Bhagavan is there in every conscious, in the consciousness, the pure state, this whole body is appearing and disappearing. A bhakta will say, you are there in every pore of me. Only depends on whether you have grown through the intellect or whether you have gone through the heart, through the emotional side. Or through upasana, samadhi state. Aham, aham, aham. I keep on saying aham and then drop that aham. What remains is Brahma Asmi. Performing duty, yajna, dana, tapas, holding on to the Lord, these are all the different ways to give up our selfish actions, our desireful actions, kamya karmas, and then finally settle down on one single thought. Only God exists. Consciousness is the ultimate truth. It is an impersonal reality. It doesn't have a face. We use the Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, all this for our upasana, for our puja. A personified reality is saguna, sakara, with form and with gunas. That is Lord Krishna in his physical form. But Again, Lord Krishna with the body is not the ultimate. It is that pure Chaitanya. This is what we have to learn from the Bhagavad Gita. There is a single entity. There is oneness in this entire universe. All what we see as the oceans and the rivers and the mountains and all so many billions of bodies, all of them, they merge into one consciousness. I accept this only because it is coming from the scriptures. And what is the benefit I get out of it? I remain peaceful. I take refuge in that teaching. I attain the Sashvatam. Sashvatam means this is coming from beginningless time. It is eternal, Avyayam, changeless. It is called as Vaishnava Padam, which is the Lord. Next verse. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha buddhi yogam upashritya machita satatam bhava. Renouncing all the actions into me. That means I try to control the sense organs and withdraw it towards that light of consciousness in the seat of meditation. Resorting to the yoga of discrimination. What is the discrimination? It is this light in which I see the entire universe. The entire universe is Anatma. This light of consciousness is Atma. Atma is real. It is changeless. It is the higher nature of mind. It is the supreme truth. Anatma, the body, sense organs, mind, they are all instruments of action. They are to be used by me. I am the indweller of this body. I am now attached to the ego. I have to change that direction and come and realize my true nature with this Sakshi principle in this body. That is the discrimination. By Viveka, we keep God as the goal. Normally, we have the world as a goal. We achieve every day, morning to evening, our sense organs are looking at the sense objects, and we try to achieve so many different things in the external world. But here the Lord says, change the direction. Bhagwan is the ultimate goal. If Samatva Buddhi is there, Karma Yoga is there. Karma Yoga, there is no Karma Yoga without Samatva Buddhi. Samatva Buddhi means equanimity. When the mind is becoming tranquil for you, realize that you have grown in the study of Bhagavad Gita. All of us begin the Gita with a very disturbed mind. But as we come to the end of the Bhagavad Gita, we realize this Lord has transformed us internally. That is his prasada for us. Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva naivam papam avapsasi. Second chapter, 38th verse, Samatvam. This is where Lord teaches us what is Samatva Buddhi. I remain undisturbed when the joy comes, undisturbed when the sorrow comes. When there is any labha, victory, when there is defeat, I remain Samatva Buddhi. When I lose something, when I gain something, I am in the same state of mind. But why? Because I have realized that this thought, this mind is the ultimate instrument to be controlled. It is this mind which keeps on going up and down. When joy comes, I'm very, very happy, thrilled. When sorrow comes, I'm right down, fallen on the ground. For me to get up from that sorrowful state of mind is a Herculean task. So I learned through the process of the study of the Bhagavad Gita, keep the mind samatvam, keep the mind. There are so many, at least 20 verses are there of samatvam in the entire Gita. Let your mind be equipoised, let it be peaceful, never lose the buddhi to deluded thoughts of the world. Again and again, the mind goes because of the habit. I have developed a wrong habit and the mind keeps going in the same groove every single day. Watch your mind. Each one of us will be able to find that groove. The moment we get up, whenever the mind is a little bit quiet, again it will go to the same groove of thoughts. It's a pattern. It is a habit. You and I have the ability to change that pattern. Changing that pattern is transformation. Tell yourself, I am very happy. That is my Swarupa. Change the process of thinking, I am always sorrowful. Why? Why? Again and again, don't go into that sorrowful thoughts. Change it and say, I am happy. Why happy? Because I have started learning the Bhagavad Gita. This is going to take me to the final abode. With that knowledge, with that confidence, you go and change the mindset. It's possible. It is difficult, yes, no doubt. Because we have cultivated that habit for years, for janmas. To change the thinking pattern is very difficult, but possible. Abhyasa, through practice. Reverence, respect, dearness, love, they all come together in bhakti. I revere the Lord because He has given me this body and opportunity to come out of this samsara. By the learning of the Bhagavad Gita, I can come out of this pressure of thoughts which pushes me into deeper and deeper sorrow. That is what is called as delusion. The moment you understand the delusion, you are getting deluded, immediately become aware, become alert, and become watchful. And when you go through this whole Gita study, you all will be successful in this process. What will I get by doing this? Machita sarva durgani mat prasadata rishyasi atachet mavahankarat nashoshiyati vinashyati. If I don't follow this style, karma yoga lifestyle or the upasana yoga lifestyle, what will happen to me? If I don't do my duty, what will happen? There are two lifestyles. One lifestyle as a bhakta. The another lifestyle is to lead the life of ahankara, the ego, which is what we normally do. I am the ego. I know what I want to do. I will do as per my own likes and dislikes. But if I want to change that, if I live the ego lifestyle, I will be destroyed. I will have no peace of mind. How do I change that thought process? That thought process become a bhakta. There is a Lord in this heart. I want to reach that Lord. This is how we all start. I want to have an experience of that Lord. The mind is totally filled with the object of love and respect. And then I engage in the battle of life. I do my duty. Durgani means problems of existence, the obstacles like hunger, ignorance, samsara, kama, krodha. These are all called as tapatraya. Tapatraya means these are all the sorrows. With my grace, you will certainly cross all the obstacles. Mat prasadad tarishyasi. You will cross this ocean of samsara by holding on to me. That's what Lord promises here. All doubts are clarified. You understand what is that higher principle. Then Lord Krishna gives a warning to Arjuna. Yadahankaramashritya nayotsya iti manyase mityaisha vyavasayaste prakrististvam niyokshasi. What does he say? He says that by chance, if you don't accept my teaching, then remember, even if you say, I will not fight, your nature will force you, compel you. This ahankara is just a false ego in us. Many a times you will find this ahankara wants to run away from our duty. This is called as mithya. It is a false appearance. You have to be watchful. If you're not watchful, it will delude you. And then you'll get into trouble. I am not going to do this duty is the false ego in us. It's a false thought. For Arjuna, the false thought was, I will not fight this battle, which he said in the 2nd chapter. But Arjuna is a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya's duty is to fight. What Lord Krishna says is, your nature will not tolerate any injustice. It is very powerful, your nature. You have cultivated the habit of fighting. Your nature will make you fight, oh Arjuna. Don't think and get carried away by your delusion. Ahamkara bug which comes into your head, and you will then decide wrongly. Prakriti will impel you, forcibly push you. For all of us, we must remember there is a nature, a sobhava, a tendency in us which will make us do what sometimes we don't want to do. Sobhavajena kaunteya ibhantasvena karmana kartum nechasi yan moha karishyasvachopi tat. Bound by your own karma, your own nature. What you wish through delusion you don't want to do, that is what you will be forced to do. Helplessly. He's building up Arjuna's mind now. He's going to take you to a higher level in the 66th verse. The next verse is very important. The 60th verse he's building up. Lord Krishna is building up the topic of there is another cosmic will. He's going to build that topic now. So the body is bound to karma, past actions, past activities, the thinkings which we bring as our nature in this body when we are born. When a baby is born, the baby is born with a body. The body is growing. It has 6 stages. Asti, jayate, vardate, viparinyamate, vipakshyate, vinashyati. These are the 6 stages. The physical growth happens in a body. The mind is already coming through the vasanas. When the body is grown, it will start expressing. At certain days, at certain time, at certain years, whenever it has to express, that vasana will fructify and you will have a certain pattern of thoughts. Each one of us lives with a software inside our mind. That software is the Vasana software. We are all, that's Vasana is the Swabhava. Karma manifests as Swabhava. Suppose I am doing this action today, good action. It is the same karma, that Vasana in me, which makes me do this good karma. Same Vasanas in me makes me do wrong karma. Swabhava manifests as karma. You are totally tied to actions. You have no freedom. That's what he says in this particular verse. Giving up duty based on delusion is tamasic yajna, which we have seen. Tamasic tyaga, not yajna, tamasic tyaga. Giving up duty. I don't want to do this duty because I don't like to have trouble in my, I don't physically like to be fighting. If you giving up duty, so that is tamasic tyaga. So Arjuna, don't try to give up your duty. Again and again, Lord Krishna, suppose this is a very important teaching for all of us also. Many a times we feel like just relaxing and not do our duty. This is one of the lessons of the Gita, which says, never relinquish your duty. Because it is for this duty you are born. For this duty, this body has taken this birth. If you say, I will do what I want, you will be forced to do as per the Swabhava. So don't get into delusion. That is what is the simple meaning of these last two verses. Your mind can get into delusion. I will not go, I will not help, I will not give charity, I will not do this. All these are all delusions in the mind. And we'll suffer samsara because of that. We think we are separate from our nature because of the individuality which we take ourselves to be, that ego I. Nature functions outside and also inside. Outside you see the rain coming, the trees growing, the sun shining, the air flowing. Inside the nature is the mind. There is one controller of inside and outside, that is Ishwara. That is what in the next verse the Lord is going to state. Every being is propelled from within and as per the expression of cosmic will. Ishwara sarva bhutanam riddesharjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. Is a very, very important verse. Very important verse of the whole Bhagavad Gita. I mean, there are about 10-15 verses in the entire Gita which you should all again and again contemplate. This is one of those verses. If you want to make a note, I suggest it to many people who do this, who attend to these type of talks. I say you keep a small notebook and write down these verses and keep it handy. Whenever your mind is free, just go through these 10-12 verses. The Lord dwells in the heart of all beings. This is a fact of life. There is a cosmic Ishwara, causing all beings by his elusive power to revolve as if mounted on a machine. See, in this whole universe, there is one power which is making the whole world go round in action. That is what is called as cosmic will. You and I have a small will power. Small, tiny, a wee bit. But we must realize there is a higher willpower. And that higher willpower is the Maya Shakti, which we call it as Prakriti. It is an illusion. The power resides in our mind. It makes us to act. It is the divine cosmic will. The Lord, which we say, is not sitting in heaven somewhere up in the clouds, but he is present in each and every mind. Your mind has that power of the Lord, which makes your body act in a certain way. Realizing this principle, you will be free. That is the essence of this verse. There is a consciousness in the heart of all. Keno Upanishad has this beautiful mantra, Kene Shitam Patatim Preshitam Manaha, Kena Prana Pratama Preti Yuktaha, Kene Shitam Vachivamam Vadanti Chakshusotram Kavo Devo Yunakti. What does this mean? That student is asking his teacher, by whom is this mind lighted up? With objects, with the plans, with the thoughts. How is the mind lighted up? Question number one. Question number two. Each one of us will have, we can ask these questions in our own mind in our meditative state. When you sit in meditation, ask yourself, what is this mind? Where is it? What is it powered by? Who is the cause of this mind? Second question. I am breathing. This body is breathing. By what willpower? By what power is this body breathing? Who is behind this prana? Second question. Third question. I am speaking. Whole day I am talking. What is behind this power of speech? Third question. Fourth question. Four questions are there in this. Fourth question. I am seeing. I am hearing. Throughout my life, what is that power which keeps me seeing things, which keeps me hearing the music in my WhatsApp? What is that power? Is there a power in this body? These four questions in Keno Upanishad are not questions, but they are leading us to the power of consciousness, awareness in the body. It is the same power Lord Krishna is teaching in this verse. Ishwara sarva bhutana mriddeshe tunatishthati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rodani mayaya. So these are the four questions which I have just now explained, and the answer is the power of consciousness. In the same Keno Upanishad, we will be doing these Upanishads if you all want to do it. Pratibodha viditam matam amrutatvam hi vindate atmanam vindate vidyam vidya vindate mritam. Through the mind, we can attain immortality. Because before every thought, the source of that thought is consciousness. And that consciousness, that source is immortal. Throughout our life, it has been giving us the thoughts. Throughout our life, we have been breathing. Throughout my life, I have been talking. I've been seeing, I've been hearing. That life principle is not mortal. That life principle is my real nature. That consciousness is Paramatma. That Paramatma is not perishing. It is called as Aksharam in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna is revising what he has taught to us before. Ishwara is the consciousness plus the total causal body, not the individual. See, I have an individual body, individual gross body, subtle body, causal body. But what is the definition of Ishwara? Ishwara is the total. The total causal body, the total subtle body, and the total gross body. Which together, these three totals are called as Maya. So what is the world ultimately? We can, if you want to describe the world in two words, it is consciousness and Maya. They put together is called as Ishwara. The core of Bhagwan is consciousness. The core of this body is consciousness. Tattvamasi, when the Upanishad teaches me, I am, that consciousness is the realization of the spiritual seeker. Consciousness expresses as the total cosmos in the universe, and it also expresses as the individual body. Every moment I experience only Ishwara if I have this knowledge that the world or the universe is consciousness plus Maya. Maya, in short, means the material matter principle. Mahanarayana Upanishad has this beautiful verse where it says that the world is, what we perceive is nothing but Ishvara, one Narayana, within and without. Within means it is only with reference to this body, which is the thoughts, which is the antakaranam, which is the indriyas and all that. Without means the whole universe. But what you break this body, what happens is it's only Narayana who is there. Causal body is located in that consciousness awareness principle. Consciousness is located in the mind and intellect instrument. That mind intellect instrument is called as Hridaya Desha. Hriddesha. Intellect inside our mind, the space, the buddhi, that in that intellectual space is this consciousness shining. Brahmayan sarva bhutani. All things are happening as per cosmic will. This is the grand design. In that grand design, I have a small little wee bit of freedom. Whether I want to eat this or that, these are all the small little things which we have freedom over. But the big things are all decided as per our prarabdha karma phala. So don't get, you should remember there is free will in the world. I have free will to study this or that. If I study business or software engineering, I'll get a good job. That will make my life a little bit more comfortable than doing some other courses. These are all small freedom which we have. And we all go as per that freedom, and then we make our life. These are also, it doesn't mean, but there is a cosmic will. Remember that cosmic will is extremely powerful. As the wheel goes, you know, in Singapore, we have the flyer. In London also, you have a flyer where you sit inside and then you are taken round and round and round. Suppose you want to jump out of that flyer, what you should note is, I know how to come out of this cycle. How to come out of the cycle is to hold on to that consciousness principle and say, I am not this ego, I am that consciousness. Repeating that again and again in your own mind throughout your life is the only way to come out of this cycle. Keep reading the Bhagavad Gita, understanding the Bhagavad Gita. When you do these verses again after 5 years, your mind will absorb this verse much more deeper than 5 years ago. Many people are doing this Bhagavad Gita many times. Some people have done 20 times the same Bhagavad Gita. But every time they come back and tell me, oh, this time is different. Why? Because the mind has become more purer. I am seated in the wheel, I have no option, but I can come out. Puppet show. We have all seen puppet shows. In the puppet show, what happens is there is a hidden string which is attached, which governs the movement and the actions as per the puppeteer. In this body and mind, the string is attached to that cosmic will, Ishwara. We can't see because the mind is extroverted today. The moment you start making that mind go inward, that power of Ishwara, you will realize. How? How will I realize this? Ask yourself the question, how do I wake up every day morning? How does I go to sleep? How do I dream? Who controls this waking, dream, sleep from my birth till today? Who controls it? Isn't there a power? Who controls the earth and the sun? Isn't there a power? That power is this Ishwara. If I have learned through the Bhagavad Gita to have a small glimpse of this power, this Bhagavad Gita has opened up that vision for me. That is the prasada. That is the benefit of the teaching. And if I have this attitude, what do I get? Samatva buddhi. My mind is peaceful in all circumstances. Whether there's a promotion in the office or no promotion, whether I get a bonus or no bonus, whether I have got a good health or a bad health, whether I have eaten good food or bad food, whether in so many different situations, the mind becomes calm and peaceful. These cannot be quantified. These are all experienced by each one of us. It's an internal change, internal transformation. The causal body and the causal prapancha, the world. The subtle body, which is the mind, and the forces, natural forces, which is called as the subtle prapancha. Prapancha means the nature. So this Ishwara directs the gross body and the gross world, subtle body and the subtle world, causal body and the causal world, waking state, dream state, sleep state. There is one consciousness, one Ishwara. That consciousness is pure. But when it expresses as this world and also this individual body of mind. Srishti, which Ishwara does, Srishti means creation, is based on our karma phalam fructification. You lead a life, you are having certain thoughts throughout the day. That is a result of karma phalam, which is fructifying for you today. The same thing is happening to me. Same thing is happening to your mother, father, your child, everybody. That is what we call it as creation. Jiva's free will is very limited, insignificant compared to God's free will, God's will, cosmic will. Swabhava springs from our Karana Shariram, which is called as Vasanas. The impressions which we have gathered, not only in this birth, but all of our previous births, decides our Swabhava. Am I a good-natured person today? It is my Swabhava. Am I angry today? It is my Swabhava. Am I happy today? It is my Swabhava, which is coming from many, many, many births, and it will keep on changing daily. Maya consists of three gunas, which is the vasanas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas together is called as vasana. Each one of us live life of vasana, which is called as Swabhava. The creation depends on the Karana Shariram, the causal body and the causal world. Here the Lord says, this Karana Shariram, which is called as Maya Shakti, is my Upadhi. Upadhi means it is a medium of me to express my nature. It is my manifestation. So we should be, as soon as we get up in the morning, we should remember it is not, this is Lord's manifestation which I am experiencing today. With that bhakti attitude, when we start our life, we will have a peaceful day. We analyze the individual and the total, Sveshti and Samashti, and then realize what is the nature of the individual Jiva, the world, the Jagat, and the creator, which is the Ishwara. You cannot say, I will only analyze myself and I will know the truth. It's not possible. You have to know the truth about yourself, the individual, and the totality. And when you study both, you will find there is a common element in both, which is called as pure Chaitanyam, which is the substratum for the entire creation. So this, what we call as the substratum or the Chaitanyam, is also called as Brahman. And with the Adhyasa means superimposition. The pure consciousness, I superimpose myself on the body and I enjoy the transactional world. Similarly, the consciousness, superimpose with the subtle body in the dream state and experience the dream world. The pure consciousness in the sleep state, superimpose with the Karana Shariram, the causal body of ignorance, and then I experience the state of blankness. Who am I? I am the pure consciousness without the medium. That is called as Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. That is the essence of Lord Krishna's teaching in the 18th chapter. We have a part and whole relationship with the Ishwara. Who am I? And what is the Ishwara? I am a part of that Ishwara. We have seen this in the 15th chapter. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manashashtani Indriyani Prakrististani Karshati. I am a part of you. In the 15th chapter, we have learned this. So I am a part of the entire creation. Creation is the totality. My body, mind is nothing, but it's a manifestation of the same Lord who manifests as the whole creation. When I have this vision, I will be able to come out of my limitations of my own mind, which is called as Apara Prakriti. Nature is divided into Para and Apara. 7th chapter. Para Prakriti means the highest, Satchidananda principle. Apara Prakriti is the matter principle. Matter principle has got two states. One state is the manifestation state, which is in waking and dream. Another state is the unmanifest state, which is the sleep state. See how 7th chapter I'm bringing down into this 18th chapter, and I'm trying to revise that and bringing the same essence which Lord Krishna is teaching in the 18th chapter. This is how we have to study the Bhagavad Gita, especially the 18th chapter. You should be able to connect different chapters and the verses and have one vision. Ishwara is the cause of projection. He is the power behind the 3 states of consciousness. In short, what is Ishwara? If you want to say it in 3 words, P-E-R. P stands for projector. E stands for the experiencer. And R stands for the resolve. Projector of the universe, experiencer, the Chit principle, the Chaitanyam principle, and the resolver, Layasthana. That is what is God. What do I understand as God principle in this whole universe? The one who projects this universe in the waking state, the one who resolves this universe in the sleep state, and the one who maintains this and experiences this in the waking state. That is definition of God. Mayeva sakalam jatam mayi sarvam pratishtitam. Mayi sarvam layamati. In Kaivalya Upanishad, which we'll be doing later, this is the definition of God. Lord is with Maya Shakti, is not outside, but in the core of my heart, propelling all my activities. Can you see the vision we are getting in this 18th chapter? How our vision of individuality is getting, the ego I is being dropped. And again, I'm seeing Ishwara again in the whole universe. The wave has realized it is nothing but the ocean. One wave rises, another wave falls, but both of them are nothing but the ocean. It is the ocean which is coming up as a wave, and ultimately the wave is going back to the ocean. The individual jiva, I, the Jacqueline, or I, the Baubai, or I, the Bhatt. Today, I am an individual with a name, but I am not that. I am one with the ocean of this entire universe, which is nothing but the creator, expressing as this universe. In this waking state, I am only a small experiencer with a small mind. But now I have realized I am a part of the entire consciousness principle. One Ishvara consciousness enables one body to be born and another body to fall. How? As per the law of Prarabdha. In the ocean, the waves rise and the waves fall as per the breeze. The breeze makes one ocean rise, another ocean fall. The breeze represents the prarabdha, the karma phalam, which every jiva has to experience in this world. The drop realizes, I am the water. The jiva realizes, I am the consciousness awareness. That awareness is never born, it never dies. It is ever immortal. My eyes cannot see the difference because Ishvara cannot be seen with the physical eyes. It can be known by the intellect. I become limited only when I start contacting the world of objects. When the mind contacts the world of objects, I behave as if I am a limited entity. But my real nature is, I am limitless, timeless, awareness, consciousness, called as Atma. This Atma is all pervading existence. It's like the ocean. There is no place where there is no Atma. Because the moment you say place and time, the substratum of place and time is nothing but Atma, which is existence and consciousness. Ego I is got a form, it takes a birth, it can drop the body at any time. As per the prarabdha karma, not you and I cannot decide this. There is a cosmic will. It will decide one day this body is gone. One day another body is born. Body born, body gone, none of us experience. Like what? In our sleep state. In our sleep state, do we realize who we are? We are without the body, without the whole universe. But I am there as the pure awareness. We identify with the body and mind and then suffer. The thoughts make us suffer. The thoughts which rise. The thoughts rise because of prarabdha karma phalam. We understand the nature of Ishwara to realize our true self, which is called as moksha. So what should I do now? Before I go to the next verse, this was one of the divine quotes which came in today in the divine quotes column, which is run by Jacqueline and TV Murli, and we have 4 people who handle this section. A very beautiful quote. There is no one in this cosmos who does anything. The whole universe is a puppet show. We are the dancing the dance of Shiva. That is what is this world, which is beautifully, the whole verse is very beautifully explained in this picture and this quotation. Very, very beautiful quotation. The next verse, 62nd verse, we will take it up. Let me see whether we have time. Okay, let me finish this 62nd verse. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. Thus, tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. Another tip given by Lord Krishna: take refuge in me with all your being, all your ego, come and surrender to me. In the 66th verse, he is going to say that, but these are all building up verses for that. You shall attain supreme peace and eternal abode. See the words he is using. Param Shanti. Param Shanti means the highest peace you can find, you will find in consciousness. The battle of Mahabharata is decided by cosmic law. There is a higher presence controller, the master of the world. Understanding that master through the Shastra gives me the relief of my ego. The greatest effort, self-effort, is what? Dropping this ego, surrendering this ego. Many people don't know how to surrender this ego because they think they're because of the very strong ego which they have. The attachment to the body, attachment to the possessions is so strong, it doesn't allow, the ego doesn't allow to get diluted at all. That is a problem which we must realize in us. The Lord says, I am in you, within you, as you, never far away from you. Take refuge in me at ease without any fear or anxiety. We say, Swami Sharanam Ayyappa. We say, oh Lord, I surrender to you. Surrender the body with speech and thought. In this cosmic will, everything happens. You are the part of the cosmic scheme. You are a part means you and I are parts of this whole cosmic scheme, consisting of billions of stars and galaxies, and our small existence is tiny, little tiny. We have no individuality at all, but we think because of our ego, we think we are too big. Lord willed we studied the Gita. Lord willed we understood the Gita. Through that power of the Lord in our intellect, we have been able to study the Gita and reach the 18th chapter. We attain absolute peace, total peace, eternal abode of this Lord Krishna in us. Sakshi in you is your final boss and boss of the entire creation. Remember this, governing principle of the whole creation. And what is surrender? Surrender is, oh Lord, your will is fine, perfect. I am your instrument. You flow through me. That is called as surrender. In the 33rd verse of the 11th chapter, Tasmad yuttishta yasho labswa jitva shatrun bhugangs. This verse, Maye veite nihata purvemeva nimitta matram bhavasabhya sachim. 11th chapter, the Lord tells Arjuna, you are an instrument in this whole creation. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sacham. That means you consider as an instrument under that cosmic will and function. Go and fight. Take wisdom. That means for us, what is the wisdom we have to learn? Same what he has taught to Arjuna. I am an instrument of that cosmic principle. I have to do certain duties of life. I will go ahead and do those duties. I will conduct my life in such a way. It is a surrender to that cosmic principle. That's all. My own willpower I will use to do whatever little I can with in my current surroundings. Take wisdom of Lord's teaching, follow the teachings, will attain eternal moksha, the imperishable abode, sashvatam praptam. Okay, so we'll conclude here today. The 63rd verse onwards, we will take it up. I will require, I think, most probably either 2 or 3 sessions. We'll decide next week. Most probably 2 sessions, I will be able to complete the Bhagavad Gita. And then, if you are interested, you can tell me, yes, I want to do the next, I want to study more. Depending on your interest, we will then decide what we will do. We can stop with the Bhagavad Gita or we can take up the Upanishad. It entirely depends on you. You can write to me, you can send me a WhatsApp, you let me know your interest, and then slowly we'll then decide. 2 weeks from now, I will make a call. If there are enough people, I will take the Upanishad. If there are not much people, then we will finish the Bhagavad Gita this time, and then we will start whenever we want to have another session. Okay, so let's close for the day and Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat or you can ask me directly. So you can unmute yourself and You can ask your questions now. Oh. Yes, Shama, tell me what's happening.
Namaste.
Namaste. Yeah, Shama.
Thank you very much, Shekharji. And you're obviously very beautifully bringing along this 18th chapter, which almost like the whole of the Vedanta, you know, is like a big piece puzzle. It is slowly coming together. The picture is coming together.
Yes.
Yeah. And then one can actually see that there are different pieces which are not seeming to sit together very well still, you know, despite we have very nicely gone through all the chapters and the 18th chapter. And in this particular one, the thing which I'm not very clear is, you know, this Swabhava and Swadharma. How do these two things connect? Because when I think of Swadharma, I'm thinking of, so what is my duty, you know? So should it not be resonating with my Swabhava? Because then that should really probably be the ideal, that there is no internal conflict, you know, the mind will sit together properly. For example, if I am now in my retired phase, so theoretically, I know that that is my Swadharma, that I lead now on a contemplative life. I don't have to do X number of things. You know, I don't have so many of my duty and obligations to this and that. My duty and obligation is really to study scriptures and do my swadhyaya and the whole thing, you know, because it's a great fortune that I have reached here. But then the Swabhava, you know, this rajas element, that living in existence is only right when I justify it, only when I'm doing things, where doing swadhyaya is not good enough doing things. So that's really, I keep thinking as to how do you match the Swabhava with the Swadharma? So that's the question.
Okay, very, very good question. A very apt question for all of us. The first thing we should realize is what is Swadharma? Dharma means it is a natural duty which comes to me. I do not seek it. Okay, it comes to me. It is
through the prarabdha. Through the prarabdha.
Through prarabdha, there is a duty which I am given because of the prarabdha. I am born in a certain family. I have duty towards that. Therefore, this duty is my what I should be doing. Dharma means Dharma is a very, very powerful word. It is that, you see, there is a dharma of the fire to burn. There is a dharma of the sun to shine. So similarly, dharma of this body is to do duty, to do what, there is a certain function for which this body is born in a particular circumstance.
Correct.
And at a particular time, the duty will force you to come. The duty will force you to come. It is not your Swabhava. Swabhava is what? I want to stay in London. I want to do that. My Swabhava is my own habits. So the difference between Dharma and Swabhava is the likes and dislikes, which I have cultivated over a period of time in this birth, or in my previous birth. I have cultivated it, but dharma is what is ordered by the law of the body and the cosmos.
Okay.
So dharma is given to me. Swabhava is cultivated by me. I have to change my Swabhava to cosmic will of the Lord. That is what the Lord says. I cannot keep on acting as per my swabhava. Oh, this is my swabhava. This is my vasana. What can I do? I cannot stop drinking. I cannot stop smoking. This is my swabhava. I cannot. So what the Lord is saying is change your swabhava, do your duty. So dharma should take predominant over your swabhava.
Okay, but so it is nothing to do with the gunas. Swabhava is nothing to do with the gunas.
Swabhava also has to do with your gunas. You see, for example, Lord says your swabhava will force you. Swabhava is the sattva, rajas and tamas. The rajasic quality in you will not allow you to sit quiet.
Yep.
You may say in your mind, I want to go and meditate. I want to escape to Rishikesh. But Lord Krishna says it's not possible because you are a rajasic person by nature. Rajas is in you.
So what should one do?
So the duty is, that is where your duty comes. You see, we have to use the swabhava, the rajasic quality in me to make sure I do my duty.
Okay.
I use the swabhava. Swabhava is nature, which is sattva. Okay, another way to look at swabhava is I have been given this nature of this mind as a rajasic person. I have to, how do I use this rajasic? By doing duty. Do my duty, fulfill my duty, you will create. Same thing was told to Arjuna also. You are a Kshatriya. You see, our duties are born as per our identification with a particular ashrama and a varna. See, I am the indweller in this body. I'm now taking it at a higher level of trying to explain to you. At a higher level, I'm trying to explain now. See, we are identified with this body first. I am a female. I am a daughter. I am a daughter. I have a mother. I am a wife. So identifying with our dehatma, we are identifying with our body, we have to fulfill our duty. So I have to use my adhyasa to fulfill the duty of the body. The body is born. It is a dharma of the body which is asking me to fulfill my duty. That is what is called as swadharma.
But doesn't that swadharma more importantly should include, the soul searching, that is the highest of all the purusharthas.
Of course, yes, but there is a time and place for all those things. If your duty is for your mother today, you have to do it, and your soul searching has to wait.
Okay, I see.
You have to wait, no choice. Because you are born in a family, that is your dharma today. Cannot escape. You cannot escape. No way. I am in this situation. I cannot escape from my situation. Put in this situation. This is where the cosmic will, you have to appreciate cosmic will. And say, I am in the situation, oh Lord, and I will do my duty. That is what Lord Krishna taught Arjuna. You are in this situation of a battlefield. In that battlefield, you have to do what is dharma for you. Your swadharma is fight.
Today you said something very, very significant, very important. The greatest self-effort, because, when you think you've got your tiny little self-will against this very large, infinite cosmic will,
yes.
The greatest self-effort is therefore in surrendering our ego.
That's
the greatest
correct.
Purushartha. Yeah.
It is
You said that very profound sentence, very profound.
Is that is the biggest, effort which we can put, the highest, because see, there are many, many rich people who, who will not have, because of their ego, they will still suffer. They will not be happy because they do not give up their ego, that highest surrender. When you want to have peace of mind, you have to surrender the ego. But your possessions will not allow you to surrender because you're attached to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the highest, what you said is right. This is a very important statement in the entire Bhagavad Gita, in the entire Upanishadic literature, and in the Upasana, especially in the Upasana. I'm just reminded of the first chapter of Panchadasi, which I'm trying to prepare notes for the classes. In that, even in Samadhi, Samadhi Abhyasa, in the Samadhi state, the ultimate thing in Samadhi is to surrender that ego I. Dropping that ego I to the Aham Brahmasmi, that is the ultimate surrender. Then only you are in that state of that pure consciousness. As long as your ego is holding you, you are not in meditation. You're still trying to meditate. The moment the ego drops, you are in meditation and you are one with that higher consciousness.
So in the Swadharma, therefore, doing the karma as whatever is this dictated by the Swadharma, you are therefore benefiting in terms of the Jnana Yuga, that you are developing your Viveka Buddhi.
Yes.
You're developing through the practice of Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, accepting whatever is happening. You are actually making that subtle progress, even although you may not be able to see it.
Yes.
Because quite often, you can't see it, because the parameters which we use to assess ourselves, unfortunately, is the same mind by which you assess your material progress. But the spiritual progress, the parameters seem very nebulous. You think, how do I measure myself?
Yeah.
So and I feel even that one should just give up. There's no point measuring.
Absolutely. The only way to measure your success in spirituality is how much of your ego you are able to drop.
Yeah.
That is a very good measure, because ultimately what happens in the self-realization is you realize your dharma is ultimately Satchidananda Swarupa.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate dharma of each one of us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Could one assume that if you find your mind is making less value judgment about other people, less, you don't actively criticize, but you see fault. So if I'm seeing less fault in other people, if I'm seeing, instinctively, I'm not judging people, I could assume by inference that probably I'm in the right track.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. My ego is dropping.
Yes, that is where you are slowly, you can say, I'm becoming more sattvic in nature.
Okay.
My rajas and tamas is coming down and I am becoming more sattvic. And you can realize this because this happens to all of us. This is a change which you can see in yourself. This is the prasada of your spiritual study for last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, This is the prasada. This is the benefit which comes to all of us. This is the biggest benefit, and this is immeasurable. No money can buy this, because this is your own treasure which you carry in the next janma also. You start with this peace of mind and start your
Peace of
study
mind.
next. Yes, you start. Then your growth is faster.
The peace of mind. We
Yes,
started the talk today
yes,
with a peaceful mind. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Jacqueline has a question. I have a question. Dharma and rich people. Okay, go ahead. Jacqueline, can you ask?
Yes. Mr. Shekhar, I think I heard what Shama was talking about. And then later you were saying that rich people, but I have a question on Dharma. Not a question. Dharma in English is equal to what?
Dharma is your duty.
Okay. So for a rich person, when he become rich, in fact, he didn't know he will be that rich, right? But he did his duty day in, day out.
Okay. So it's okay. So he has followed Dharma and become rich. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, but because it is, yeah, perfectly fine. But it's inevitable that it happened to him also, to him or her, that he will be that rich. No, so what I want to say is because to us, right? I mean, to me, life happened, and whether I'm in Singapore, which I never expected I will be in Singapore that long. Yeah. So what I'm saying that what brought me from one place to one place is inevitable. It has to happen. And that is the cosmic power of making things happen. And I don't have a way to say whether I have a way or I don't have a way, it will happen also, right?
Yes, that is the cosmic will. We have to surrender to that cosmic will. Why are you in Singapore? Why is Shama in London? Why I am Singapore? Why, so many people are in different places. Each one of us is in a different place at a different time. It is decided by cosmic will. There is no, it is not my will. Why I am born with my mother and my sister and my brother, it is not my will, it is cosmic will which has put me into this family, into this society, in this situation, in this COVID situation, which is world over.
Yes.
So this is cosmic will, okay? Now, what is your question?
Yeah, to me, yes, this is cosmic will, but as I am blessed to be inside to listen to you for the last 2 years, and I know that I will be unlimited, and you know, I am the space and I'm not the time. But then because it is the nature of human being, and therefore I'm being bogged down by all the negative obstacles and all those, and it brings me down to another human being level. And then I have to say, oh, I am the pure consciousness. So it's like, like what you say, I shouldn't have any fear at all, because no matter what, it has to be there. But as a BMI, life has to go on, you know?
Yes. See, what we should remember is there is something called as the law, the cycle of karma. Okay? So
Yeah.
we all have to go through that cycle. At the same time, we should try to see how to come out of that cycle. We see, for example, we have to go through this body with these fears, with these joys and sorrows that cannot change for the body or the mind. That is the cosmic process. The only way I can come out of the cycle is try to see that consciousness awareness principle in which this whole cycle is going on. It takes time, and it also is, there are several factors which are responsible. You and I, we can keep on making attempts. We can study the scriptures slowly, purify our mind, and then a day will come when I will be able to say, this cycle, cosmic cycle, is happening in consciousness, and it is resolving in consciousness. It comes in, again it resolves. Again it comes, again it resolves. Why? Because the three states of consciousness, the waking, dream, and sleep, is nothing but one consciousness. The day I'm able to realize it is one consciousness in which the three states are coming and going, that day I am liberated.
Yeah, but when I'm liberated, I'm still a BMI, right? Body, mind, intellect.
No, but
right?
then that I is not the liberated I. You're still clinging to your ego I. See, you don't say I'm liberated I. That the moment you say I'm liberated, you're still using I for the body. Again, you're identifying with the body, not with the consciousness.
Yeah, that's the contradicting, because I am a BMI is equal to human being, and
Yes.
I have to eat, you know.
Yes.
I cannot say I cannot eat. I don't eat.
No. You see, the moment you come to the body level, again, you're not risen to that level. Don't fall again. See, you're coming. You're rising, and then immediately you're falling.
Yeah, because yes, you're right. Because when I face the obstacle, I say, why is it happening to me? It shouldn't be, you know.
Yes,
so that's why I
accept it. You have to accept it as a cosmic cycle and say, I have no control over this. I have to go through this experience.
Yeah, that can be painful.
Yes, it can be painful because all of us have to go through these pains in our life. We can't avoid it.
Of course, I have experienced something. Then I came out from it, which I become stronger. But the reason I ask you is that I am pure consciousness. I'm limitless. I have abundance. Everything. And then when the obstacle is too strong, then I come down to the human being again.
See, our mind goes through these emotions of up and down.
Yeah.
See, it is our mind which goes through these emotional levels, takes me in joy, again it brings me in sorrow, again it causes delusion, again it goes up. This is the mind. The nature of the mind you have to accept as Prakriti. It is the nature, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. It is the Dharma of the mind to think like this.
Yeah.
It is the nature of that mind to think like this. But I am not the mind.
Yeah, I know. I keep on telling myself that, that I asked you a lot, many times, who am I? Why am I not controlling it? Please.
Okay. Anyway, this is we have to keep trying. That's all.
Okay, but then wait. Even I have to keep trying. It is the pure consciousness that asks me to keep trying, right?
Yes, it is that consciousness in which the mind is telling you, don't give up, Jacqueline.
Yeah,
plod on. In spirituality, it is not an answer you get. It is not a revolution. It is an evolution.
Yeah, that's the ironical of it. I know that I'm a consciousness. But then, who asked me to think it that way? It's still consciousness asking my mind to think it that way.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, ding dong, what is what? Of course, I call you out. Okay, yes, inspire. Okay, appreciate. Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, whatever you are facing, Jacqueline, is nothing new. All of us face this. What you are expressing, every one of us who attends these Gita sessions, we all face our mind with these turbulences.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Appreciate.
Okay. There's another question here from Akshay. A very good question. How to get clarity of the right time of renunciation? Okay. Akshay, you're talking about renunciation means sannyasa, taking up sannyasa, or you're talking about mental renunciation? Because for that, there is no time. Mentally, you can renounce yourself. That is what is called as karma yoga. Karma sannyasa yoga, the whole chapter, if you study of the Gita, you will find Lord Krishna is saying, that there are two sannyasas. One is ashrama sannyasa, where you take up a certain status in the society and say, I am going to be a sannyasi. Okay? That if you're talking about that type of renunciation, then it requires clarity. How to, is that what you're asking? Is that your question? Because then I can answer properly, you know?
Yes. Both.
Okay.
Both.
Yeah. Okay. If you see, many people, when they come to Gita and then they study the Bhagavad Gita and they study the scriptures, they feel that by becoming a sannyasi, I will do better in life. I will probably be able to study scriptures much better, completely devote myself to scriptures. And there are many people who go through these sessions on, they all, most of them are in the US. They come and ask me. They also come and ask the same question what you're asking. Am I ready? See, first of all, you have to ask yourself, am I ready for that type of a thing? See, that question can be answered only by the individual. How to get clarity of the time of renunciation? Many of times, it is the prarabdha, the karma, which pushes me into sannyasa. It is not you and I which decides. If you ask, if you ask many sannyasis, today they say it was, I never decided it, it all happened. So to come bluntly to answer your question, what is the clarity required? The clarity is, my suggestion will be exactly what Lord Krishna suggested to Arjuna. Just keep doing your duty and take the life as it comes. Today you have a duty to your family, to your surroundings. Let nature take its course. I will not make this call of taking a sannyasa or ashrama sannyasa, okay? This is the last thing I will recommend. I mean, I would still recommend people to follow a grihastha lifestyle and go through the process of learning the Bhagavad Gita, learning the Upanishads. Let it happen gradually. Let the mind become more mature. 99% of the people, they just jump in without maturity of the mind. They think that it's an escapist attitude. You know, they want to get rid of something right now and they want to jump in and say, okay, I want to get into this, hoping that everything will work out fine. My advice to everyone is, do not think of sannyasa. Forget about taking an ashrama sannyasa. And the clarity is only will come when you go through the scriptures. Mundaka Upanishad will tell you what are the qualities required. You see, your next question is, okay, let me pull that question up. Your second question was how to renounce, what is the eligibility required? Eligibility is maturity. I have seen life in totality, Pariksha Lokan. Most of us have not seen this. And they suddenly jump and then they will find that they're coming back into Grihastha again and jumping back into, that is very difficult. They go to sannyasa and then come back to Grihastha again. They, you know, so what is the eligibility? The eligibility is, I must be mature. Mature means what? I must have seen life. And in spite, you see, many a times, seen life means what? I have seen that life offers A, B, C. Have I experienced A, B, C? No. I have seen only a part, but I have not seen the B and C. Go through the life. My advice is go through the life as it comes. Go through the Grihastha life. Very rarely you find people coming to these type of classes and then becoming a sannyasi. It's very rare. So my blunt answer to your question is, you are just asking what is the clarity required. Clarity required is, have I seen life in full? Have I seen what is life as a grihastha, as a married person, as a son, as a brother, as a sister, as so and so in the family situation? Have you seen it in full? If you have not seen it in full, you are just escaping. It is not the right time for you. Let the life go on. You are working. Let the life bring you into a next stage of life. Experience the life in full. You will get plenty of opportunity to study, plenty of opportunity to become mature and mentally renounce. That is always possible. You can be a good grihastha in the highest of advanced Vedantic texts like Vichara Sagara. The teacher says very clearly that you can be a mental sannyasi and still realize your true nature. Do not have to take ashrama sannyasa. Mentally, you can say, Aham Brahma Asmi. But still continue your duties. You can still have a good life. You can still you can marry your daughter. You can get married. You can do things. You see, it does not, the realization of the self does not, because it is at a higher pedestal. It is like the dream and the waking. So self-realization does not require sannyasa. I'll again like to emphasize, it is not required to be a sannyasi, and you can still experience the highest knowledge being a grihastha. Don't jump into this plan. Okay, yeah, Shama, you were eager to say something.
No, this is in a very lighter vein, because you tempting me to remember. You're being like Socrates, you know. Socrates, there was a young man who went up to Socrates and he asked his advice. Sir, please tell me, shall I get married or shall I not get married? So Socrates says, young man, I suggest you get married. If you get married, if you're happy, well and good. If you're not happy, you will be a philosopher like me. So in either way you win. So you are saying quite a nice thing, you know, that you advise that, yes, let people. So this is just a sidetrack. I'm sorry about it.
It's a good addition to what I'm saying. Okay, Akshay, have I answered your question?
Yeah. But sir, if there is a possibility that we are matured before this ashram dharma in brahmacharya itself.
Yes. In brahmachari itself, if you feel you are mature enough, is that what your question is?
Correct, yeah.
Then you should meet a sannyasi and ask him, and he will give you clarity whether you're ready or not.
Okay. And entering into grihastha dharma, will it not entangle us more karma?
No. Don't worry about that. That as long as you are studying the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, you will not have a problem. Absolutely not. You can still study the Upanishads and because this is taking you to a higher level of thinking and higher level of consciousness. It is nothing to do with your grihastha life. Go ahead, get married. Absolutely no problem. You can still continue the study. Don't feel that you are going to neglect study just because you're going to get married. It's a temporary phase. Again, after 1-2 years, again, you will jump into this and you will be a better, because a lot of things are positive in a grahastha life. You will have good food. You'll have a comfortable life. At the same time, you can enjoy being in the company of these scriptures.
Yeah, good.
Okay?
Okay, fine.
Okay, Amianshu, in response to Shama's question, I believe that once I have firm resolve and knowledge and the conscience that all dharmas are taken care of and everything comes to my prasadam and live life. Yes, I agree. Good. It's a good addition to what Shama's question is. Amianshu is right. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else has any other question?
Shekhar, I was thinking of, it's not our wills what we want. It is the cosmic will to plan our life and take on the job, whatever we are given to.
Yes.
Isn't it so? We cannot make our own decision on religion or becoming a sannyasi or whatever it is.
Yes.
We have to finish our duties first.
Correct.
And then we, at the same time, we are keeping tab with all the scriptures to give us more knowledge and at the same time perform our duties the best of our ability.
Yeah.
So that in the another way, we have no choice.
Yes.
So that is how I feel it is.
Yes, I agree with you. See, many a times in life, this is an answer to Akshay's question as well as what you are saying. And it's a general thing for all of us. See, in life, usually what happens is, we have our own plans and we have our own likes and dislikes about our own life. Now, a time comes when you have strongly worked for something and it doesn't happen. You've strongly worked for 5 years, 10 years, you've strongly worked for something and it doesn't happen, and opposite happens. Now, this is where you have to use the Gita verse number 61 without any, this you should remember, the 61st verse of the Gita is very important, keep it by the side. At that time, you should say, this is God's will. I have nothing to say. I accept the God's will and I proceed. Because in spite of your best of the effort, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, not our will.
Yes, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. At that time, you must remember this verse. Many of the times, I have seen Acharyas, when people come to get consoled to them, the Acharya quotes this 61st verse. He says, this is cosmic will, accept it and move on. You have no say in this. This has happened to me. I don't know why it has happened to me, but it has happened to me. Accept it, take the next step forward, that's all. Because many times we don't accept it.
Right.
You see, the mind keeps on asking the question, why me, why me, why me, why I'm facing this situation? This is where the Bhagavad Gita's teaching is very, very important. It tells you that the whole world is revolving in an orderly fashion as per a cosmic law. And my situation is governed by that law.
Correct.
You see, you are, Akshay, you are in a particular situation. It is governed by a certain cosmic law. That law will take you to the situation whether you like it or not. You can use your free will to a certain extent, and you can go in life. What happens is each of us is given a free will to act. That free will is only a very small, insignificant power. Realizing this is spirituality. Realizing this is growing in spirituality. Not realizing this is falling in samsara.
Escapism, is it?
Yes, escapism. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wait, Mr. Shekhar, wait.
Yes, yes, tell me, I'm waiting for you.
This is a long session.
Wait, Mr. Shekhar, this
Yeah.
is interesting. You just say something that is really, you know. So you are saying that the illustration that you just put forward, verse number 61, Gita, right?
Yes.
So this is the cosmic view that it has to happen.
Correct.
By accepting it, are we saying that, you know, as a BMI, accepting it, whatever that the cosmic thing is going to bring me there, I don't have to worry.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. That's what it says. It says very clearly, there is a cosmic order in this world which will take you from one situation to another situation. In that particular situation, how you respond, that is left to your free will.
No, how I respond is also the consciousness is asking me how to respond, right?
In a bigger context, yes. You see, when you look at it from consciousness point of view, yes, in consciousness only, this mind is working.
Yeah.
So if I focus on the consciousness, then I will not be worried about what the mind is thinking, what the mind is deciding, not deciding, all that I will give up.
Yeah, it just happened, let it be.
Because I am now focused on the awareness conscious. But suppose I forget that awareness consciousness and I start brooding over my thoughts.
Yeah, and I got worried, I got frustrated.
Yes. So that is where the problem in life, the teaching is, whether I identify with this ego, and get into thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts, or I try to get out of that cycle of thoughts and start identifying with the witness consciousness. The moment I identify with the witness consciousness, you will find you are free.
Yeah, I think, yeah, no, it's confirmed, okay? But then when I come back to the BMI, I say, gosh, I'm so frustrated.
No, but that will happen. Then you have to use the 61st verse. This is cosmic order.
Okay. Yeah, this like, you know, yeah. Anyway, I always tell myself I'm pure consciousness. So,
Okay.
Okay, appreciate you.
Okay, Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Thank you and good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Hari Om. Thank you. It was a very nice session, Akshay. Good questions.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.